Hi folks, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to another episode of Weekly Breakdown. This week we're entering week 6 of season 3, and I'll be honest, this one's got a clear headline pick and then a little bit of everything else around it. Depending on your preferences, it's either good or bad. Without further ado, let's get into it with my first race pick, which is my top pick this week, and I don't think it's really close. It's the IMSAs. They are back at Road America, full course, both on open and fixed. The in-game starts at 2:40 in the afternoon, 73 Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius. And there's actually a decent 35% chance of rain hanging over this race, so don't be shocked if you're managing a wet-dry strategy call at some point. Out of 16 instances of IMSA at Road America going back to 2021, this is one of the most reliable tracks this series visits. It averages just under 11,000 entries, and it's never once dropped below 7,000, which is the real story here, because if you remember last week at Interlagos, this one swung everywhere from 3 to 11,500 depending on the year, which was properly unpredictable. Road America doesn't really do that. It's got a floor, and the two biggest weeks on record are both recent. So if anything, I believe it is still climbing. And the timing could not be better, too, because iRacing's own 6 hours of Road America special event lands next weekend from the 24th to the 26th, including GTPs, LMP2s, and GT3s. And that special event itself is timed to land about a week before the actual real-world IMSA round at Road America, which will run on the weekend of July 30th. So if you got any interest in this particular special event, or if you just want to watch the real thing when it comes around, jumping into this multi-class series right now is about as close to relevant practice as you're going to get. Track position, traffic management, reading GTP versus GT3 pace, all of it will transfer directly better than a simple hosted session. On car choice, GT3s is leaning towards Ferrari, Porsche, and Mercedes this time around, and up in the GTP category, it's mostly going to be, I believe, Cadillac and Porsche. It's a good spread across both classes, so whichever way you want to go in, there's company. The supporting cast for this main event this week is also the supporting cast for the main event next weekend at Road America. It's the Sports Car Challenge by Falkland Tires. It's a recurring presence in my to race picks. I do like the LMP3. I do like that the cars are a little bit slower and that they adapt to a wider range of tracks compared to IMSA, sometimes racing at tighter circuits. It makes the racing less compelling or attractive. All in all, I do believe it's a nicer pairing, so to make it on my to race list that often is not surprising. The Sports Car Challenge will kick off at 10 to 6 in the evening, 71 Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius, with a similar rain chance sitting just under 40%. This one's solid without being really spectacular. It is constant. In 8 instances on record, it's averaging around 9,600 entries, and it's actually shown some of its best turnout recently too. The two highest readings that I could see are both from the last couple of years. It's not pulling IMSA numbers, but it doesn't really need to. This is the undercard. It's not the main event. It's lower class as well. So if you're building a Road America week around the multi-class headliner, this is the natural second stop. Same track, smaller cars, and it's still going to be a well-supported field. Now, already for my final to race pick, it's the Formula C. Super Formula Lights, more precisely, racing at Spa-Francorchamps in the GP pits layout. It's a noon start, 79 Fahrenheit or 26 degrees Celsius, no rain, 30-minute session. This is a good pairing. It's a downforce car on a track that rewards exactly that, with long, fast corners like Eau Rouge or Pujon. It's the kind of layout where a car like this can actually stretch its legs rather than just point and skirt through the street circuits. I don't have hard participation numbers here for this specific series. I didn't feel like I needed it. I mean, it's Spa. It's one of the most popular tracks on every series. So I didn't feel like I needed to give a good argument here. And you can mix that with the fact that F1 just came here last weekend. So, based on my track and car fit alone, I do believe this is the best combination, the better one of the two for the Formula C this week. Now, here's a bit of a transition onto my to avoid list, because I just talked about how F1 just came away from Spa. Well, F1 is going next week to the Hungaroring. The other car pairing for the Formula C category, the Dallara F3, are going to visit the Hungaroring. And even though the Dallara F3 is technically the more popular of the two Formula C series overall, the Hungaroring is one of the weaker stops on the calendar. For this one, I did go and look at this series and all the tracks that it's ever raced at, and it turns out that the Hungaroring comes in 34th out of 55 by averaging around 2,400 entries, which puts it solidly in the bottom third of tracks for this car. Compared to Spa, I don't think the Hungaroring is nothing special. I don't think people like it as much. It's difficult to like something more than Spa, and the scenery around it. The Hungaroring feels a bit bland in its layout. The Dallara F3 might have the bigger name overall in the Formula C series, but this week it's playing on one of its weaker stage, while the Super Formula Lights is playing on one of its best, so I wouldn't really recommend it for this week. And now, on to my to avoid pick number 2 and 3. These are always intertwined week after week. But let's start with the GT3 challenge fixed by Fanatec as it heads to Adelaide. The start is at F10 in the morning, 68 Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius with no rain. I went back through the full history for this series and split out by street circuit versus permanent circuit, and it's not even close. Street circuits average around 7,400 entries per week, while permanent circuits average just under 11,000. Every single street round on record comes under that permanent circuit's average. There's no exception, and Adelaide specifically has shown up twice before. It's a relatively new track on the surface, and the last time we raced there, the number of unique racers for a week was sitting at 8,500. And the difference is not hard to understand, because driving wide GT3 cars on tight walled-in street circuits, it's just not a combination that pulls a crowd on this service. If you are going to jump in anyway, well, it's worth knowing that the Porsche was the most used car the last time the series ran here. I do believe it's still the most useful pick this time around, because the Porsche has a very pointy nose and can turn in more easily than other cars that might feel like a boat. So if you want to blend in with the pack, that's your car choice. And the third to avoid this week is basically the same. The GT Sprint Series by SimiCube, also at Adelaide this week. So if Adelaide is not your thing, and the numbers suggest it really isn't anyone's thing, then this one is to skip alongside its fixed counterpart. And I might redirect you to the GT Regional Series, either the Asia Pacific, the Americas, or the Europe. For the Asia Pacific, they're running Mount Panorama. For Europe, you're going to be looking at Mugello, which is a good pick for a GT3 car. And for the iRacing GT3 Regional Tour for the Americas, you're going to be looking at Road Atlanta Full Course, which is also a nice choice. Better than Adelaide, at least, which is, I must hand it to you, not very hard to beat. For my first honorable mention this week, since we're already talking about Road America, it's worth giving a direct shout out to iRacing's own 6 hours of Road America special event, running from the 24th through the 26th. It includes GTPs, LMP2s, and GT3s. They're all on the entry list. Weather is looking hot and dry across the usual time slots, with a temperature around 82 Fahrenheit or 28 degrees Celsius, and a 0% chance of rain, so tire management over 6 hours is going to be the main story rather than any weather curveball. If the regular multi-class series this week is your practice, this is definitely the bigger, proper endurance race version. Second honorable mention is the Mazda MX-5 Cup by Usingville. They're heading to Laguna Seca, 5:45 in the evening start, 69 Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius, no rain, 30 minutes. Not much analysis is needed here, honestly. Laguna Seca is Laguna Seca. It's one of those tracks that just pulls a crowd no matter what's racing on it. The corkscrew alone does have the marketing for you, but it's a good honorable mention. It's a good track, just nothing complicated about it. So that's week 6 for you. Road America is carrying the week as the clear headline, with the special event tie-in making it more than just a good number on a spreadsheet. Formula C is splitting down the middle between its 2 cars, with one fun track and one less fun. And Adelaide, I believe, won't really make it work with the GT3s. Anyway, that's me done for this week. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, type in the comment section what you're going to be racing, or if I missed anything, and I'll catch you for next week's episode. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.